So for this fourth exercise, we're going to introduce hammer-ons and pull-offs into the mix. A really valuable concept for left-hand technique, but there's still going to be a fair bit of picking. So this is a really cool pattern that mixes both legato and picking together in a kind of a unique way. I first learned this exercise maybe 5 years ago, and I feel like it really changed my playing overall, mixed with a few others which we'll get to as well. The basic version of this exercise you can do just with the first finger and third finger. Those are the only two notes you need. And then the pattern is this, so it's down, hammer, and then up, pull off, and you repeat that. So basically it's picked, legato, and together it sounds like this. Basically the right hand is doing half the amount of work, and you're letting the legato kind of take over half the notes there. When it's fast, it does sound quite interesting as far as the color and the articulation goes, so I'll gradually speed it up here. It's an exercise that will feel really strange at first because you kind of need to let both hands have equal power. You might find that the pick wants to dominate a little bit, or the hammer-ons and pull-offs wants to dominate, and the key with this exercise is just finding that balance, which you have to do quite slow. So I'd recommend doing that, trying to aim for evenness when it comes to dynamics and the rhythm. So here it is. I'll do a gradual kind of increase in speed, starting slow. Exercise to do as well is to do that with a metronome and shift subdivisions, because it feels quite different in 4 and in 3. So that's the basic version of the exercise, and now we can make it a lot harder if we start to introduce the other fingers. So that's what we'll do now. I like this variation. It's almost like the classic kind of Rick Graham legato style exercises, but we're going to use this technique where we're a bit more pick strokes in there too. So the way I like to play this is this. So it's exact same pick pattern and legato pattern, just introducing the other fingers. So on the way up it's this, up to a major third, and then on the descending we want to use our pinky as kind of the pivot, and we use this and we do this. That's ascending, descending, adding them together. A little bit faster. I can feel my hands particularly fight on the descending. You need to let these weaker fingers have more control, and sometimes it's hard, they're not as strong. So that's something to watch out for. I find for me personally that's the hardest bit. It's the transition from the ascending to, especially letting that first finger take charge on the descending. So that's the fourth exercise. Try both together. I usually do 5 to 10 minutes on this every day still, just to keep my hands warm with this concept. I guess this particular variation hits all the different finger combinations that you'll need, except for the second and third. So maybe you could practice that separately as well. I sometimes do that. That might be the hardest as well, especially to keep it perfectly in time. I think that's one of the hardest things with this exercise, is just maintaining evenness. Don't try and speed it up too fast until you feel like you are playing it completely even rhythmically and dynamically. Like, I'm trying to make sure that the hammer-ons and pull-offs are as loud as my picking in a lot of cases, because the whole idea is that we want to use these hammer-ons and pull-offs in amongst kind of picking lines, and still being able to trick the audience into thinking that you're picking most things, which is kind of what I do. I feel like I pick maybe 3/4 of everything, and then it's these small little fractions, it's these small little fragments of legato, hammer-ons and pull-offs in amongst all the picking that I use for the last quarter of it.